Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
I will call to order the meeting of the Neenah City Council for Wednesday, March 17, 2021. The first item of business, just so folks know that due to the public health emergency, this meeting will occur both in person and virtually at the in person at the council chambers and also virtually, or we also have a phone number for conference number you can call into. That's how we've been operating for some time now. Actually, the first meeting that we are back in the council chambers. And so welcome. It's kind of a historic night in a lot of ways. So it feels good to be back in this chamber. Ironically, it's 1 year ago tonight at 5 p.m. when Governor Evers put his order in, shutting down businesses and doing that. So it's actually St. Patrick's Day 1 year ago today. So it feels good to be back. It's been a long road. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. I've had many discussions with Dr. Andrabi and the healthcare professionals at CedarCare and system. And I think there's a little bit of optimism in the air. If you pay attention to the numbers, Winnebago County, statewide, we are seeing some reason to be hopeful that this pandemic is nearing an end. And a lot of people are now able to get the vaccine. And I just wanted to take a minute to, as the mayor, I'm hopeful and believe strongly that people need to get vaccinated. As an EMT professional myself, I think it would sure help and go a long way as to getting us back on the road to recovery. So as you get the opportunity to get vaccinated, I think it's good for you, your family, your friends, and those that you interact with. That's just my personal observation, but I'm hopeful that all our residents in that will seriously consider it and take advantage of the vaccine offerings that are out there. So with that, we are in session, and the first item of business is going to be the roll call. The clerk, Stephanie Cheslock, will call the roll, please.
Alderperson Boyette. Here. Bates.
Here.
Lane. Here. Landrum.
Here.
Borchert.
Here.
Steele.
Here.
Harrison.
Here.
And Stevenson.
Here. There is a quorum present, and next item of business, the Pledge of Allegiance. It's been a while, but the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, if you'd like to join us, you're welcome to. In the Pledge of Allegiance led by Council President Todd Stevens.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the
republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
God,
liberty,
liberty,
and justice for all.
So we have had many tests of the system. We did do some alterations for feedback and things like that. So we apologize in advance if there's any hiccups. We have two aldermen that are with us virtually. We have spread out the council members to put some social distancing between us and the department heads who are joining with us. So we appreciate the efforts of Joel Winiger, our IT person, who has spent a lot of time, and Stephanie Chesak, setting this up and make sure that we can operate in this way for probably a little while, at least until we get back to whatever the new normal is. So thank you very much, Joel, for doing this. Tonight we are going to start out. We have a somewhat unusual circumstance in the city of Neenah again, but it's happened twice, I think, in the last year or so. And that's we're filling an automatic seat. In this case, the person who held that seat, Stephanie Spellman, Alderman Spellman, who also had a seat on the county board, bought a house and moved out of the district. And so she's no longer able to serve in that automatic seat. So we put out the word and put out asking people in the community that lived in third automatic district if they would like to apply for the opening to finish out Stephanie Spellman's term. That term will go till April of 2022, and then that person will have to run for re-election in April 2022. And I can't tell you how excited it is, quite honestly, to have, we had 9 applicants. We had other people who expressed interest, both to me and to the clerk's office, and what it entailed, and how much commitment and those types of questions. But to have 9 people step up from the community and say, you know what, I'm willing to serve. I'm willing to take time out of my busy life, busy schedule, and try and help make the city of Neenah better. I think is testament to the city of Neenah and how people appreciate what things we have here. So I just want to start off by saying thank you to each and every one of the people, that the persons who have taken the time to apply for this position. We have a wide variety of backgrounds, experience, and you know what? What better way to get involved in your local government and politics and such. And we don't do much politics up here as city council people. We have a lot of respect for each other. We treat each other with dignity. A lot different than you see around the country in many cases, but we get things done here. And we tend to disagree at times. We argue at times a little bit. Carrie, take the mayor on once in a while, right, Carrie? So, but at the end of the day, we all walk out of here as colleagues and as friends. And so I think whoever rises and is chosen to fill this seat will be part of an organization that's very well run. And those of you who may not get this, there'll be an opportunity in the future, or there's other opportunities to serve. And you can bet that you may be contacted by me, the mayor, because we have a lot of boards, commissions, appointments where we ask citizens to serve on. And quite honestly, I don't have a long list of people knocking on the door to serve on some of those committees and that. And so you may have an opportunity, a different type of opportunity that presents itself after tonight. So thank you very, very much for each and every one of you that are going to take the time here and address the council and tell us a little bit about yourself, your qualifications, and help them make a decision to fill that 9th member of the council. Council President Stevenson?
No, I'll also take a second and thank the 9 candidates who expressed interest and those that have reached out to not only myself and the mayor, but some other council members to do their due diligence as to what the position really requires. And I will echo Dee's comments about there are plenty of opportunities to serve within this community. And one way that you can get your feet wet and try to understand how some of these things work is to get to volunteer with a commission or a board, because that one sitting on one commission will open your eyes exponentially. So I encourage not only the 9 applicants, but those watching on TV to do the same.
All right. So, thank you. We have some of those folks are here with us tonight, have joined us, and would like to serve, and a few of them are on the virtual meeting. And so I would open it up. We would just ask that you give your name and address, so we have it for the record. You probably do. But, if you're with us virtually, I'll call on you, and if not, we have a microphone set up there where those of you here can go up to the mic and make your presentation to the council. After each speaker is done, when you're done speaking, we do have some Clorox wipes up there. If you could wipe the microphone off for the next person, we'd appreciate it. Okay? So with that, I would like to welcome and introduce the first candidate for the 3rd Automatic District seat, Mr. Timothy Bonson. Tim, welcome.
Can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure this was working. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be considered for the Neenah Alderperson position. My priorities are to support business expansion, provide equitable services for residents, and to ultimately improve the residential experiences within the city of Neenah. Many businesses have suffered through the COVID-19 pandemic. One of my goals is to aid business development by supporting local businesses and increasing our visibility and marketing efforts. This aligns with the council priorities, as many of you have taken leadership roles in this area. Additionally, the Neenah drop-off site demonstrated that the city has provided inequitable services by not allowing apartment residents to utilize this service. I sent an email to the city council and later attended 2 committee meetings to express my concerns. I plan to be active in responding to citizen comments and find ways to ensure that the city is meeting residents' needs in an equitable basis. Personally, I have been very impressed with several alderpersons who personally have reached out to me, provided comments or suggestions, and have shown that they want to provide equitable services. Furthermore, I want to improve residential experiences by encouraging the City of Neenah leadership team to be open to innovative ideas. The library is one of several departments that have become creative at meeting the needs of residents. I will encourage city leaders to be innovative in their practices and be willing to think outside the box. Most importantly, I want to work with the rest of the council to improve the experiences for the Neenah residents and do so in a fiscally responsible manner. I consider myself as someone who cares, is responsible, and wants to work with the rest of the council in order to move the city forward. Please consider me for this position if my priorities align with your goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate it. The next person to present to the council is Mr. Sean Brownson. Welcome.
Wait, how about the better? What do you mean? Thank you, Council, Mayor Crawford. When I found this position came open, I found it very intriguing to be something of seeing that I could make the qualifications. I think what renders me the person for this position is I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Neenah. 52 years. I'm a small business owner here, working in the city of Neenah. I've worked for different companies in the city of Neenah, and also the fact that I've had personal relationships with many people throughout the city. Also, my experience in life, I think, has given me the kind of perspective on what it takes for this position, and also the fact that I would be new to the council. I've never done anything in this regard before, but I think new blood is always a fresh start and a fresh take as well for the council. So I just think that given the opportunity, I would be a great fit for the Alderman position. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Sean. Next person up is Lee Hillstrom. Lee, welcome.
Mayor Crawford, Council President Stevenson, council members. It's good to be back in here again. I'm tired of Zoom meetings. I was on a Zoom meeting before I came here tonight. I was on last night. I have another one tomorrow. Speaking to the YMCA about cancer tomorrow. So it's nice to be back in here again and actually see people in person. So I appreciate this opportunity to serve again in the third district. You all know I served in that position for 12 years, and so I was elected 4 times to that position. First time I ran against the incumbent that won, then I ran unopposed 3 times. So I feel that means the people in the third district are happy with what I was doing. I retired from the council 2 years ago, not having enough hours in the day anymore to do the cancer work I had started doing and helping people with that. So working a 10-hour day in the council doing cancer work, I was feeling I could do a good job with everything, so I retired. That changed at the end of the year when the small business that I worked for in Neenah closed because of COVID-19. So it gives me the opportunity now to have a lot more days and I'm not looking for another job. So I'd like to be back on the council again. You know, my 12 years in the council, I worked on 12 different committees over those years. I served as president or chairman or vice chairman of many of them. So I have that experience behind me. I even worked at the drop-off site for almost 12 years. So at least 3 times a year I was up there on Saturday morning going through. So back in the beginning, the alderman was the only person. It was a lot of fun. Since leaving council, I've stayed up to date on everything going on. I've gotten all the agendas, minutes. I know what's going on in council meetings, finance, public service and safety, finance commission, board of public works, CDA. I've done all those. Plus I've watched a lot of meetings on Zoom, or what a meeting actually. Well, I'm not on council anymore. I haven't stopped doing things that are best interest in the city of Neenah. Normal year, I'm out at Riverside Park at 6 o'clock in the morning, Community Fest helping set up. I used to run, before it was Community Fest, there was the Neenah Menasha JC Civic Celebration back in the 70s and 80s. I was part of that group for 9 years. We ran the whole thing, even the art show we had back then turned into the Birchton Mauler art show. So a little bit of history on that. After doing that, I son was old enough to play soccer. I joined it was then Paper Valley Soccer, now Neenah Soccer. He was on that board for 13 years and served in every position on there with president. I helped that club go from the size it was, make some changes, and grow it over 2,000 players. So, as a small business person, I had to do things on my own. I had to figure out how to solve problems, how to do things. That was part of what I did with soccer. We grew, we needed more soccer fields. I worked with Attorney Dan Doggett, who was on the town of Neenah Park Commission back then, and got permission to develop the Muller Park area. So I laid out 5 soccer fields there. I hired people to enlarge the parking area there. I designed the enlargement, hired people to do the landscaping, down the fields. I hired people to do everything, build the goals. So, the town just let me do that, which was amazing. So, and the soccer club paid for it. I've also been on the Fun Run series. I'm on the board of that, to help that to grow to where that's 500 to 700 kids, 14 and under, and something that's doing that program. The famous rocket slide was closed down back in 2004. And because it was just, out of date and not safe anymore. So at the time, Director McCoy found a rocket slide and playground from a different company. It's there was one in the Chicago area, so I drove to Chicago and climbed around and took photographs of it, brought it back, and the council ended up passing the $260,000 needed to build it in the budget, with the stipulation that 160,000 of that had to come from donations. So I served on a steering committee for that. I made phone calls to individuals and businesses to raise that $160,000 that I have the Texas Rocket playground at Riverside. Also took 2 days off from work to help build it along with the Rotary and a bunch of other volunteers. So, I've done done that. My work now with cancer is very important to me. Went through cancer twice. I was at, the last time I went through it, I went through 37 days of radiation. I did a journal that time and I gave it to the cancer center. And from reading my journal, they asked me if I'd be interested in starting a cancer support group. Again, I knew nothing about. They told me how difficult it would be starting a group, and it'll be even more difficult for a group for prostate cancer from that. But through hard work, I started that in November of 2015, and we closed down a year ago now for COVID. We were averaging 50 men and women at a meeting, which is an unheard of number for any type of support group. I've been successful in things I've done. I believe I'm successful in helping on the council, making budget changes, adding things, changing things. So it's just, I believe in one person can make a difference. We're 9 individuals up here and we all have our viewpoints and we can all do things to help make everything better. So just in closing, I'd like to quote whatever it came. I'm only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. You know, not that, but I cannot do interfere with what I can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hellstrom. All right, next person will be David Jensen. Welcome, David.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am so pleased that I'm one of 9. That there, as I echo the thoughts of so many others tonight, 9 individuals who'd be willing to come forward and serve and give back to their community, because that is why I took an interest in this. And I'm a very relative newcomer to your community. My wife and I have just moved here. We've only been here a matter of months, but we are impressed. This is a wonderful place to live. People are friendly. We've been impressed with the businesses, the healthcare, the infrastructure, the way government seems to operate, maintenance of the roads, just everything. And it looks like this is going to be our home for a long time to come. And I just felt, is there anything that I might be able to do to give back to it, to show appreciation, but also on my own to maybe try to help make a very good community even better. And I would say that that is probably the one qualification that I would bring, would be just the willingness to serve and to be a part of it. Part of it might be looking for something to do because I'm newly retired. But that also means that I would have more time and opportunity to serve than I would otherwise. And I am a retired Lutheran parish pastor. I served as a pastor for 44 and a half years. And I suppose there's some overlap with that, with what happens here. Used to conducting meetings and doing business publicly and very open in front of people. Used to dealing with all different kinds of people and problem solving in a lot of different ways. Used to having people to serve as those you would represent, your constituents, the ones you're answerable to, the ones you're trying to serve, the ones you're trying to put together so that there's a consensus that things go well and work as well as possible, to work and function with a budget. I would gather that those are the kinds of things that go into a successful city council as well. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to have my name in front of you and the opportunity to volunteer to be a part of things. And we appreciate this community, and if there's something that I might be able to do to try to help continue that, I've made myself available.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Neenah. All right. Next up will be Jacob Kramer. Jacob? Jacob Kramer on the line. Let me look here. Caller 1 or caller 2 maybe? I don't know. Jacob Kramer? Mr. Kramer? All right, I don't see him on, so pass him by for right now. Maybe something else, but we appreciate him taking the time to apply. And then Mr. Kim Roll. Tim, welcome, come on up.
So yeah, my name is Tim Ronald. I reside at 936 Ridgewood Drive, Neenah. My wife and I have lived here for the past 15 years. We moved here in 2005. Love the community. Raised with, as I said, 3 kids. First, I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to sing the Pledge of Allegiance in a public forum. So, opportunity. That's part of the session. That was nice. I'm at a point in time in my life now, being a public servant has always been part of my role. I taught government for quite a while. So I always taught my kids that, one thing that you need to do as a citizen is become involved, do your part, do what you can. And so it's always been in the back of my mind. This is something that I've wanted to do. I'm at a point now in my life where I can actually do that. I have an opportunity. I'm self-employed. So I'm in good with the boss. She only asked that I'm home at dinner at 6. Kids are out of college and well-grounded in jobs. And so I find myself with an opportunity to build this lifetime of public service. So when I saw this opportunity in the newspaper to apply, running for an election is a difficult thing. And I think it's something black for a lot of folks. And I thought this would be a really good opportunity to maybe test the waters a little bit, see if it's what I thought it would be, and start from there. So that all being said, my qualifications basically is I've had several different life experiences that have allowed me to work with all kinds of people, young people, old people, all kinds of social economic situations that I've worked in. So I'm pretty comfortable with all the above. As my application stated, I did grow up in a mechanic's home. We built everything, we fixed everything, we bought nothing new. So hard work was part of the daily course. And I got to know a lot of people that way. I'm also, I do have a master's degree, so I can run on all levels and talk about the types of people comfortably. And I would imagine that this role would require that. And happy to do that. So, that all being said, I like the opportunity. I see we have several very qualified candidates, and if I'm not chosen, that's okay. You have my number. If you need help, I'm more than happy to serve it on a point in time. Thanks so much.
Tim, appreciate it. Did fail to say if you want those that are speaking, you can pull your mask on. Presenters are allowed to take their mask off or pull them down. But I think everyone's doing fine so far. Next up will be Jesse Schwartz. Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you. My name is Jesse Schwartz, and my address is 1032 Babcock Street. So I was born and raised in Neenah, and wherever I go, I like to tell people that Neenah gave me the skills to be a leader, but it also let me learn from a lot of people, from great leaders. So at Neenah High School, I swam under Carrie Ray and learned a lot from her, and I played tennis, varsity tennis for Tom Bourbon. So they gave me a lot of skills to learn how to be a leader. And then I went to UW-Oshkosh, and I studied business. My majors were finance and economics. Things I did there were like, I was the fund manager for the Student Managed Endowment Fund, where I let a group of students manage over $600,000 in securities, and those are used for student scholarships. And I know today the fund is worth well over $1 million. So I'm glad I was able to be a part of that. Also at UW-Oshkosh, I was able to learn from a lot of great leaders like Barb Rao, where I worked in the College of Business after graduation to help with our accreditation, and she also gave me some great skills. So after UW-Oshkosh, I went to UW-Madison Law School, where I'm finishing up my last semester right now. I've been a leader on my mock trial team and on our student bar association and helping my class navigate this really critical time of COVID and doing law school online. Not an easy thing to get through personally and emotionally, so I've been really glad to help with that. And I've had some really great internship experiences working at Sakira, which is in the area, and also learning from Christian Gossett and Eric Spar at the Winnebago County District Attorney's Office. So in closing, what I would bring to the position, I'm someone who cares, someone who's willing to listen, can work with all kinds of different people, work with people younger than me, older than me, and I'd be really thankful for the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. And then we have Mr. Excuse me, Mr. Chu Moa. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mayor Crawford, for having me here. It's an honor. I didn't expect to be here. I got all about applying for this. I got an email from you guys this week. Oh, boy, they went through. But I am a longtime Neenah resident, so I with somebody, I'm a former Neenah Rock alumni. That's the 98. Came from humble beginnings, went to college in lacrosse, worked in medicine for a long time at the University of Madison. Some of the chronic wasting disease down there at the time that came out to be an issue here in Wisconsin. Went to grad school and worked out in Washington D.C. for a while at the National Institute of Health, trying to find out why. Pretty much automating all the laboratory campuses there as to why they had essentially a smallpox when they should have been at the CDC instead of the NIH. So the government came up pretty hard on them. So I felt when this role came about, I thought, why not inject some of that scientific method into the city council. As a young man, I grew up here and that took advantage of a lot of the activities and fun and public services that the city offered, and those that came before you were able to offer an amazing just programs for young kids like me when I was growing up. And I thought, why not to give back and serve our community. So I'm grateful for your time, and I hopefully I think there's qualified individuals here, and so I think whoever you choose, I think you guys will be in good hands. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for. All right, I just want to be sure then that that's all candidates. And we had one more that I believe that person decided to take his name off, right?
He did rescind, but I do see that he is on the meeting.
And that's kind of why I brought it up, so. Mr. Stafford, would you like to say anything? I know I have it in your packet, but I just want to be sure that I got the right information. Brian?
Mr. Stafford, you're muted if you're saying anything.
Here we go.
Hi, Brian.
Can you,
Welcome.
hello? Yes, I just wanted to thank everyone for the opportunity to hear all these great backgrounds. And I think everyone here, like was said before, definitely would be in good hands. But yes, I am actually going to rescind my interest at this point and would rather actually focus on, as was mentioned, one of the boards or in a different capacity.
All right, well, thank you very much for your interest. You and I have had some previous contacts, so I know that you pay attention to what's going on. We appreciate it, so thanks. All right, so at this point then, I'm going to ask City Attorney Westbrook to tell us where we go from
quickly. So aldermen who are present, each of you have sheets of paper. They are labeled vote 1, vote 2, vote 3. That's just if we have multiple votes, so you're not rank choicing or anything. On your first sheet of paper, you need to write down the name of the candidate that you would like to fill the spot. The 2 aldermen who are virtual, you need to send a private message to Clerk Cheslock. Make sure that you select private message so that it doesn't go to the whole group. Send that private message to Clerk Cheslock with the name of the person that you would like to vote for. How this is going to work is it takes a majority in order to then be appointed. So if there's no majority after the first vote, the top 2 or 3 vote getters will move on to another vote, and then you will use the sheet that says number 2. So right now, make sure you're writing your name of the candidate you want on the one that says vote 1. I will come around and collect them. Clerk Cheslock will tabulate them, and then that's where we're moving from.
I just, excuse me, just Todd and I talked for a few minutes before. Now that all the candidates have spoken, is there anyone want any clarification or any questions or anything before we vote of any of the candidates? I don't want to get into a running dialogue or anything, but if you had a question or whatever that was pertinent or relevant, we would take with this time. Alderman Boyette.
Wait, I'm not, kind of looked through my notes and don't remember who it was, somebody that was new to the area. I'm just curious where they moved here from.
Moved here from Baraboo.
Baraboo, thank you.
There's circus wagons in there.
Indeed it is.
All right, so cast your votes. Alderman Bates and Alderman Steele are on the online. They will send theirs to the clerk. The mayor will not, as I understand when I read the rules, won't vote unless there's a tie, and then I have the option to either pass the tie-breaking vote or not pass the tie-breaking vote. And I can tell you, looking at the quality of the candidates, I'm glad I don't have to vote at this time. You really did an excellent job, all of you, and you know, it's not easy. It's not easy standing up in front of a group, and you all did a very, very nice job. This is going to be viewed by hundreds of thousands of YouTube people and probably viral. And you're all going to be stars. You're probably going to have your own TikTok.
Only if it's a real slow night on YouTube.
Start thinking of your new TikTok, Steve. There's one downside to the person who gets pointed to this, and that's Brian Borchert was the youngest and the newest member of the group, so he has been the one that we picked on during the last year. That'll transfer to the new person.
Something me up, and I can't wait for something.
As you can see, we take our job very seriously. We spend a lot of time, but we also have to do fun. Clerk Cheslock, would you like to announce the results?
Yes, the votes have been counted and we have a majority and we can welcome back Lee Hillstrom to the council.
Welcome, Lee, and congratulations.
At this point, there should be a motion. Yep, most likely from the president too.
Based on the election results this evening, I make a motion to appoint Lee Hillstrom to the open seat in the third Automatic District until April of 2022.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to appoint pardon? All right, there's a motion to appoint Lee Hillstrom to the Town Council vacant District 3 automatic position for the term that will expire April 2022. Is there any objections? Unanimous consent to that motion. Hearing no objections, that's so ordered. Congratulations. All right, and thank you very, very much to each and every one of you. I sincerely appreciate that taking time off to do this. And don't be surprised if I make you an offer you can't refuse down the road for something else to get your feet wet.
Yeah, and that's it, Mayor. I'd like to dovetail that. The quality of people that choose to step forward in this community never ceases to surprise me. Now, it should surprise you because I think highly of this community, but they have 9 people fill out the application, it's great. To have 8 people come and talk to us is even better. And congratulations on making the effort to come out. Thank you for your service to what we hope is going to be your home for a long, long time. So thank you.
All right. Congratulations, please. Thank you all.
And you're welcome to stay.
We will now next have the swearing in of the new District 3 alderperson. Clerk Cheslock will swear in Alderperson Hillstrom.
All right, can you hear me? Fine. I, Lee Hillstrom,
I, Lee Hilstrom,
having been appointed
having been appointed
alderperson for the 3rd aldermanic district of the city of Neenah,
been appointed to the 3rd District of the City of
Winnebago County,
Winnebago County,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of an alderperson
and to discharge the duties of an alderperson
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me.
That is the former city attorney's former seat. Pressure. And we might get some good legal advice coming.
Hey.
But you haven't sat that chair yet.
Well,
That's actually Chris Hayes' chair, my bad. He's tried to be a lawyer on the case.
All right. Okay, so thank you all very much once again. So tonight, one of the other things we're going to do once a month is just take a moment so that folks in the community know those who have retired during the previous month. We have three employees who retired in February of 2023. One of them is Keith Dashlet. Keith worked in the Public Works Department. Keith was in traffic maintenance for 27 years. Keith served the city of Neenah with Public Works, and I know for quite a few years at the end there was in traffic maintenance. So we want to say thank you very much to the service of Keith Dashlet to the city of Neenah, who retired in February. We also had Patty Cundy. Patty Cundy finished her term here with the city government in the municipal clerk's office as the municipal court's office as the municipal court clerk. Patty had 36 years of service to the city of Neenah. I believe she's worked in a few different departments throughout City Hall and the police department, but worked quite a few years at the end for the municipal court. So we want to say thank you to Patty Cundy for her 36 years of service to the city of Neenah. And then, of course, lastly tonight, James Godleski. He worked in the Department of Legal Services. He was our city attorney for 19 years as the city attorney. And we have had Jim, the last couple of meetings, we've talked Jim's retirement and that. So we want to just once again say thank you to Jim Godleski for his years of service. So those of you in the community, if you know these people, if you run into them or see them, make sure you just tell them how much we appreciated them in their years here. So those are the three, along with Stephanie Spellman, who was an alderman. She retired in February also, and that's why we had a special election tonight. We want to say one last time, thank you to 3, approval of the council proceedings of March 3rd, 2021 regular session. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Lincoln, seconded by Stevenson. Is there any discussion? Additions, corrections? If not, is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the council proceedings? Seeing or hearing none, that's so ordered. Remember to watch the monitor and the screen here too. Item number 4 is a public hearing to consider the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program proposed use of funds, the annual action plan. And action will be taken on a later date. Tonight is just a public hearing on the use of those funds. Is there any, so I would declare the public hearing open. And is there anyone here or on virtual who would like to address the council regarding the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program? And Lisa's been with us since 3 o'clock, I think, because we turned on the computer, we were testing it. Lisa, boy, she's really anxious to get on here tonight.
I had my times wrong. I showed up for the 4 o'clock hearing that was on the 15th. So here I am at the council at 7 p.m. instead.
Welcome.
Thank you. I will be very brief. I am just here to encourage you to approve the 2021 annual action plan, under which pillars, where I am employed as the community engagement director, would receive $10,000 to support our crisis housing services. 177 of the 1,600 people that we served in 2020 through crisis housing came from Neenah addresses. So you may think we don't have homelessness in Neenah, we certainly do. And those CDBG funds make our services possible. I know I didn't need to be here because the community development team does a good job putting that plan together. But as a 23-year Neenah resident, 325 12th, right around the corner from Alderperson Steele, I just want to say that I know that supporting those services based in Appleton really saves the city of Neenah a great deal of expense and a great deal of distress. So thank you for your consideration, and that is all I have to say.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council on the use of the funds, the Community Development Block Grant funds? Anyone else? All right, I don't see anyone else or anyone from the public. Lisa, can I just ask a question? So when you say 117 people from Neenah, is that Neenah addresses or Neenah zip code? Because, you know,
Good
Neenah.
question. It was 177, and that's a Neenah zip code, 54956.
So some of those.
So not all city, not all city.
Some of those could be from Clayton, Fox Crossing, Town of Neenah, things like that. So
Indeed.
if you, I don't know if there's any way to let the council know how many, and it really doesn't matter. You're serving people all over the area, but it might be interesting just to know how many of them actually were city of Neenah residents versus zip code, because we encompass such a large area. And if you'd have that info, that'd be interesting.
If I'm able to find that out, I'll pass it along to Carol Casimore.
Thank you very much. Alderman Stevenson?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Lisa, just to dovetail on that, I got the 177, but what was the total number? 77 of how many?
Out of 1,600, 1,600.
So you guys do good work over there. I'm very familiar with it.
Thank you.
You guys, you fill a need for the community, and it's, you know, I want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, I will close the public hearing. There is no reporting. Anyone have any comments or anything? Take an action on this at a later date.
When is it scheduled for action?
Director Davis?
March 29th.
Okay.
March 29th, okay.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, finance on 29th also.
Director Hayes, has answered March 29th.
Or finance.
The Finance Committee and the council meeting,
April
April 7th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Public forum. The public forum is an opportunity for anyone to speak to the council on any topic. Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on any topic, or anyone on virtual or on telephone? Is there anyone on the telephone, virtual, or in person who'd like to address the common council? Caller one, I just saw your green light come on. Okay. Seeing no one for the public forum, and I will close the public forum, and we will move on to item number 8, which is the consent agenda. Alderman Bates, you have a motion? Oh. I was told that Alderman Bates would make a motion to remove that item.
Oh, I will, well, yeah, I would like to remove item C, street use permit for bike to Boogie, because I believe they are re-evaluating their application.
Yep, okay, so,
And I'd like to make the motion to approve the consent agenda, except for item C.
right, thank you.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, taking out item C at this time. That will come up 2 weeks from now. Is there any comments or questions on anything in the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there any objection to unanimous consent of approving the consent agenda? Hearing and seeing no objection, that's so ordered. Item number 9 is the report of standing committees, the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of March 9th. Chairman Bates.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting from the March 9th Public Services and Safety Committee meeting, and the minutes can be found on the city website. Committee recommends council approve amending the contract with Ayers Associates for the Downtown Neenah Traffic Study Phase 2 to include the additional parking structure analysis at the Hewitt site for a cost of $4,900 to be funded by TIF 10, not 8. And I would so move.
Second.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Alderman Lane. Just to reiterate, that's funded by TIF 10, not TIF 8, as on the agenda. Alderman Bates?
Is that correct with Director Hayes?
Okay.
Yes, he said yes.
Yep. All right. Any comments or questions? Alderman Steele? I thought I saw your hand. You're good? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. All right. Seeing no comments or questions at this time, there's a motion and a second. All in favor will vote aye. All opposed will vote no as the clerk calls your name.
Alderperson Bates,
Aye.
Lane. Aye. Landrum. Aye. Orchard.
Aye.
Steele.
Aye.
Erickson. Aye. Stevenson.
Aye.
Hillstrom.
I've watched all these meetings and I should have stayed.
Okay, and Boyette. Aye. Motion carried.
That motion passes 8-0 with 1 abstention.
The second item is committee recommends council approve ordinance 2021-03, amending section 7-21 of the municipal code relating to fire permits, and I would so move.
Second.
Alderman Bates moves, seconded by Alderman Lane. Questions or comments? Alderman Boyette?
Did someone explain what the amendment is? Why we went?
Yeah, so the city staff was going through a process looking at this ordinance for other reasons, which will come up later. But in looking at the ordinance, there were a couple of things that we wanted to clarify. The old ordinance said the clerk issued the permit and you had to pay the finance department. We removed both of those references just to say the city issues the permit and you pay the city. The other thing that we changed was that the old ordinance said that you had to have a copy of the ordinance and the permit on you at all times when you're having a fire. We got rid of that just to say that you have to know the ordinance. If you are requested to show proof of a permit, that you can show proof of a permit. The only other change was the old ordinance said you had to have a bucket of water within 2 feet of the fire, and we got rid of that. So.
Thank you.
Still have to have appropriate fire suppression. We just took out the bucket of water within 2 feet.
Alderman Stevenson.
Yeah, I think there was also another reason that we took away the not having to have the physical permit on hand was because our fire officers can now check that from their vehicles relatively easily.
And residents are still going to be required to show proof of permit, but that's most likely going to be via email or some digital.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? If not, there's been a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2021-03. All in favor will vote aye, all opposed will vote no. As the clerk calls your name for the roll, please.
Alderperson Lane. Aye. Landrum.
Aye.
Orchard.
Aye.
Steele.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Hilstrom.
Abstain.
Boyette.
Aye.
And Bates.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That motion passes. 8 ayes, 1 abstention. Thank you for your report. Next item of business, item number 10, report of special committees and liaisons and various special projects committees. The regular plan commission meeting of March 9, 2021. Representative Alderperson Lane.
Thank you, Mayor. One item, the commission recommends council approve ordinance number 2021-04, approving project plan approval number 1-21 for the Glatfelter Mills Plan Development District, allowing the construction of a mixed-use development for 201 West Wisconsin. And I'll explain.
Second.
There's a motion by Alderman Lang, seconded by Alderman Stevenson. Questions or comments?
I just want to correct, I said 201 West Wisconsin, it failed to say LLC, that's full name.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right. All in favor will vote aye. All opposed will vote no. If the clerk calls your name, please.
Alderperson Landrum.
Aye.
Orchard.
Aye.
Steele.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Hilstrom.
Abstain.
Boyette.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
And Lane. Aye. Motion carries.
That motion carries 8 with 1 abstention. 8 ayes with 1 abstention. Thank you. And then we move on to the Board of Public Works, meeting of March 11th, 2021. Vice Chairman Bates.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the meeting, the minutes can be found on the city website. I have several information-only items. The board approved award award contract 1-21 for sewer water main street construction on Marathon Avenue to Don Hippus and Sons, Little Chute, in the amount of $2,198,385.50 with budget overages coming from the public infrastructure reserves. Now, I'm sorry, Mayor, shouldn't this be a
Yep, all of you can be happy.
action item?
Yes. You are correct, Alderman Bates.
So I would so move.
Second.
Fred, is your Mark, there's a motion and a second to approve contract 1-21. Discussion. Alderman Stevenson.
Jerry, what is the budget amount that's allocated for this contract?
Director Kaiser.
All right, this contract is comprised of 4 pieces. We have street, water, sanitary, and storm. The total budget for this project was $2,269,000. The total bid is $2,198,385.50. So in totality, we are $70,600 below budget.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All in favor of approving contract 1-21, will vote aye. All those opposed will vote no. As the clerk calls the name, please.
Alderperson Borchert?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Erickson? Aye. Stevenson?
Aye.
Pilcher? Aye. Space?
Aye.
Lang? Aye. And Ledger? Aye. Motion carries.
That motion passes.
Item B, the board recommends to award contract 2-21 for sewer, water main, and street construction on Fairview Avenue and Lawton Boulevard to Carl Bowers and Sons Construction Company Incorporated in Kokana in the amount of $1,704,729 with budget overages coming from the public infrastructure reserves, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Bates, seconded by Alderman Lane. Discussion.
Mayor, I'd just like to make it clear that the amount that was approved by the board, or that was recommended by the board, is for the alternate bid of concrete pavement on Fairview Avenue.
Alderman Stevenson.
Yeah, same question, but what, you mentioned an overage here, but we really should have what the overage is.
The reason for the mentioning the overage, as with the Marathon Avenue project, streets, water, sanitary, and storm are individual capital budget lines. So on the street side, the alternate that was recommended by the board is $17,424 over the amount budgeted for Fairview Avenue and Lawton and the water contract.
So what was the street total budget?
The street total budget was $537,000. And the bid for the alternate comes in at $554,424.
I'm assuming the water, and sewer were under budget?
Water was over budget by $32,000. Sanitary and storm were under budget considerably.
Could you do me a favor and just show us a summary of how much each was compared to each of the budget items in the center?
Sure. Are you looking, I presented a memo to the board that summarized the totals. Is that what you're looking for?
I don't know, because I haven't seen. If I should
Okay.
have that.
All right, I'll forward that to the council.
I noticed in your agenda, you had a nice spreadsheet that showed all the bid amounts, but I didn't see any budget amounts.
Okay.
Was it on there?
It was attached, it was the second page of the memo, the cover memo.
I'll look at myself, don't on unless I'll get back to you if I need to get you.
Okay, very good.
So I was then at this meeting, I just want to be clear, so Fairview Avenue is going to be concrete?
That's correct.
Is Fairview Avenue considered a arterial, a secondary, a third area? I mean, just doesn't seem, I don't know if it matters, but there's a lot of streets in this city.
Sure.
And most of them that are what I would consider just side street residential have blacktops, so.
You know, when we look at the streets, we're not necessarily looking at the direct traffic loading. This would probably be considered a neighborhood subcollector connection between South Park Avenue, the pool area, and Congress Street. But when we look at residential street paving, where we seem to have a candidate that would be good for concrete, we've been bidding an alternate. It's not built as heavily as the Green Bay Road or Winneconne Avenue is built. It's a thinner concrete section. And then, so we bid that as an alternate, and we do what's called life cycle analysis. So we're running it through 50 years of maintenance and seeing what those costs are. And then seeing what the present worth is, the present cost of all of that work, both the initial construction and the maintenance work. And in this case, the life cycle analysis showed that over that life of the pavement, the concrete alternate actually cost us less than the asphalt alternate.
Right, I agree that it's kind of a back street, but yet it's kind of also a cut-through street, you know, I mean, I find myself, I guess, using that street a lot, maybe to get to the pool or, you know, that area, so I can understand the rationale that you just laid out. It probably does clearly gets a lot more traffic than just some that residential street, so I think there's a lot of cut-through traffic, so I appreciate the explanation. Anyone else? If not, there is a motion and a second to award contract 2-21. All in favor will vote aye, all opposed will vote no, as the clerk calls the roll.
Alderperson Steele,
Aye.
Erickson. Aye. Stevenson,
Aye.
Stelstrom,
Let's see.
Wyatt. Aye. Bates,
Aye.
Lang. Aye. Landrum.
Aye.
And Borchert.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion passed.
The board recommends approval of the contract, or awarding the contract 3-21 sewer, water main, and street construction on Isabella Street, Olive Street, Washington Avenue, and Winneconne Avenue to Crew Check Construction Incorporated, Green Bay, Wisconsin, in the amount of $1,702,531 with budget overages coming from the public infrastructure reserves, and I would so move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve contract 321. Discussion? There's question. Director Kaiser.
Again, I want to make clear that the board's recommendation was for the alternate bid, which is concrete pavement on Isabella Street and on Winneconne Avenue.
What are those two streets now?
Those are both asphalt right now. Winneconne, there's part of it that has asphalt over concrete.
Other questions? Someone asked me, so how much more are we paying on this contract for concrete versus asphalt?
If we look at the spreadsheet that I put together, we have overall on this particular contract, We have a cost difference of about $112,000. The street portion of this contract, under the asphalt bid, was about 56,000 under budget. And with the concrete bid on Isabella and Winneconne is 56,500 over.
Run the risk. Isabella. We run the risk of someone saying, you know, on a residential street, how come they got concrete and I got asphalt? There's maintenance of both, there's maintenance of the asphalt. Well, this Stevenson and I lived through maintenance of asphalt on our streets. Didn't go that well. But, I don't know, it just seems to me that there's gotta be a reason, we should be stating a reason why. And I apologize, I do, or maybe you could just enlighten me what that's the reason.
Sure, the analysis on these streets, was handled the same as Fairview and the same as we've done with other alternate bid concrete streets in the past, Adams Street in 2018. Again, we run them through that life cycle analysis, and the amount of maintenance on the asphalt end of it, in both of these cases, given the relative good pricing for the concrete alternative, the maintenance ends up weighing heavily on the asphalt alternative.
So mostly just because the market right now, cost between asphalt and concrete makes the life cycle cost more lucrative to just do the concrete. And that's not always the case, but we both a bit, that's the best explanation I can give.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Kaiser, could you remind all of us the lifespan of asphalt versus concrete?
Well, from a maintenance standpoint, we're looking at roughly 30 years before we have to do substantial milling and resurfacing on an asphalt street. On a concrete street, we can do joint repairs, isolated pavement patches as we see cracking occur. And so we really get a pretty solid 50-year life before we have major work to do on those streets.
And asphalt?
Asphalt is closer to 30 years with crack sealing and seal coating maintenance treatments in between.
So a total of 30.
Yeah, before we would do a resurfacing project.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for the explanation, Barry. Council President Stevenson?
So the street construction on these contracts is being funded out of the TARP fund, correct?
TARF would be a portion, it's probably more appropriate for Mike to cover.
Asking only for street.
Again, if we recall, the street project construction, similar to this, the city always borrowed its share, and then special assessments were levied for those individuals who lived on each side of the street. The TARP eliminated the special assessments for the residents on each side, so the city still pays its share through borrowing, but then the TARP will make up that difference under what would have been assessed.
Yeah, because we haven't collected enough money in TARP yet to pay the bills, right? And we're using TARP money for debt service.
We are, that's correct. But as you borrow the money, you're borrowing a little bit more than you would have otherwise, and then it runs its course.
So I'm just curious if our thought process has been altered to, on this blacktop versus asphalt strategy, given we don't have people coming in knocking our doors down, making us aware of any little high compressed costs. And so that maybe that's a good thing because we're doing it the way we want to do it versus because of life cycle and things like that. quite honestly, over the years, we would have chosen asphalt because we would have been able to assess the paper lots.
Under our assessment ordinance, that was in place before we did tar on a residential street where we would place concrete, we would still would have assessed at the asphalt street level.
Which is what we did on, the one by St. Margaret there, Washington. When we upgraded that to blacktop a number of years ago.
Yeah, we poured concrete on Washington around 29 and 2010, something like that.
I got the contract up here, Jerry, and I see the alternate for concrete. I don't see where we have a comparative, where I see street hot mix asphalt, but it doesn't come nearly the same amount of money.
Looking at the bid tabulation or which?
I'm looking at the spreadsheet. The only place I was able to find the spreadsheet was in the email that was sent to us initially with the agenda. The email that book here only has a 2-page agenda, doesn't include the spreadsheet. Nor is the spreadsheet included in the second email we got confirming the agenda, which is quite honestly, yeah. Saw that when I initially opened up the agenda and I thought it was curious because we didn't include any budget items. Normally we have budget amounts on this contract, so we understand how a simple-minded people simply look at total and see how much of the budget, maybe a misnomer here or there, but we didn't include any budget numbers on the end of the spreadsheet. And I don't see anything on the second page. There's 23 pages on the agenda that actually have the spreadsheet.
Okay, I'll forward you the board packet. On page 6 of that packet is the spreadsheet that I've been referring to.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see that. That is here. So I apologize for that. Okay, I have it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing no one else, there's a motion and a second to award contract 321. All in favor will say aye, all opposed will say no. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Alderperson Erickson,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Wilchin,
Abstain.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Lane. Aye. Sundrum,
Aye.
Borchert.
Aye.
And Steele.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That motion passes.
And as a true information item, the board approved pay estimate number 2 for contract PR 2020-01 Arrowhead Park Phase 1A Carriage Trail Shoreline to Soper Grading and Excavating, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, in the amount of $40,783.50. The board rejected submitted bids and request a rebid for the Doty Park Court Replacement Project. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Before we leave your report, I just want to have the city attorney, for the record, at least state why we can take these three items up and vote on them when they weren't properly on the agenda. I just want an explanation just for the record.
So these actions all require council approval. The motions made out of the Board of Public Works typically would say, recommend council approve. The minutes that came out of the Board of Public Works, none of the motions were made for the council to approve. However, because council must approve these orders and they were properly agendized, that they would be discussed, the council can vote.
I just feel the need to, because someone could say they didn't know we were going to vote on these things. So I just want an explanation, to have something put in the minutes. So thank you.
Mayor,
Yes. I'm
I
sorry.
just wanted to say, I wanted to say on that last item where the Doty Park Court, apparently the bids came in higher than they were expecting. And it was perhaps due to the fact that the companies that were putting in bids misunderstood how much underlayment they were going to need in this process and how much the city was going to do on their own. So with that clarification, Director Kading decided to rebid the project.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to item number C, the report from the CDA. Director Hayes, you have anything tonight? All right, no report. The library board, Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you very much. The library board met today at 4:00, and I'd like to report that the library is open for in-person visiting and for curbside service 7 days a week. So I encourage you to visit the library, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of people happy that the library is back open on a limited basis. I think they're practicing all the social distancing and all that, so that's good. Landmarks, or I'm sorry, Arts Council, also Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you very much. The Neenah Arts Council met on Wednesday, March 10th, and I'd like to report that the Neenah Library will have an exhibit of Neenah School District artwork for the month of April. So I encourage you, when you have a chance, when you're visiting the library, take a look at the beautiful student artwork. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And then we move on to the report from the Landmarks Commission, Alderperson Lake.
Thank you, Mayor. The Neenah Landmarks Commission met on February 24th and several topics were discussed. The Commission has suggested that they again sponsor the Voyager canoe rides that occur at the Neenah Menasha Intertribal Powwow. This fall, that event will be held on September 18th. The Commission also discussed the plan to photograph historic properties if there are plans for them to be demolished. And that way, at least some record of the property would be preserved for future generations. The Commission is also looking for a new member to join who would have experience in real estate, as our real estate expert has now resigned from the Commission. Our next meeting is March 24th. That concludes our report.
Thank you very much for that report. Sustainable Living Committee, Alderperson Borchert.
We met a couple weeks ago. I don't have the exact date on that one. Two items were discussed about our participation in the farmers market, securing 5 spots for us to promote various things that might be going on, or discussions about what those might be. And then we are also discussing at this point no May and what options we might have as a city, if it's something that we want to embark this year or not. No official motion at this time.
All right, thank you for your report. Business Improvement District Board, Bid Board, Alderperson Lane.
Thank you, Mayor. The bid met on February 16th and then again this week on March 16th. There are a few items to report. Due to COVID, the annual meeting for the bid this year will be held virtually. The annual co-op meeting will likely be held in September. That meeting brings together the future Neenah boards, the bid board, and city leaders to discuss and agree upon the responsibilities of each group. From the marketing committee, a downtown spring fling will be held on May 1st and will include gift certificate rewards, a blank giveaway, and an opportunity to win a Mother's Day brunch gift certificate. Future Neenah reported the summer concerts will return to Shattuck Park this year, and the opening day of Farmers Market is June 12th. Future Neenah is working on a dining promotion for the downtown, so check their website for updates on that. Actually, the downtown dining promotion has already occurred, but now they are also working on a citywide dining promotion, so check their website out for that. The city report at the bid meeting was that construction has started on several downtown projects, including the new Plaza Ice Rink, which is very exciting. And the Community Development Department's annual report was also made available for review. The next meeting on the bid will be April 20th. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Brooks Vermont Museum, we postponed one. Just but I know I attended that meeting. It was their annual meeting, and I attended that and welcome Fox City to the board of directors, and they're also starting to get back to find a way to get that back open and operating. I can't believe it is right now, limited basis and everything. They've had some COVID issues in that, but the virtual model is going strong as we seat the new alder person in that. So, committees are coming up in that, so we'll get someone to fill that spot real quick. There are no petitions, any council directives, any unfinished business. Under unfinished business, I'd just like to report that I do have the resolution that the council asked me to do with regards to renaming this slough. That will come up at the next meeting, council meeting, okay? I was in contact with District Class today, and he's happy to hear that, so we'll do that. None are also under old and unfinished business. I do want to point out that I had a meeting with staff yesterday, I believe it was, with regards to the outdoor dining, temporary outdoor dining that we implemented last year for the COVID. And I've asked Adam the attorney to update that and probably bring it to committee, public works next time. My intention is to bring that forward and have the council look at extending that ordinance for outdoor dining, the temporary relaxation of the rules, and we'll be able to find out if there was any problems last year, things like that. We'll ask the police department and director of community development. But I can tell you that I'm not aware of any problems, and I will also tell you that people generally really like it. And I think for one more summer we're going to have to do that, give that same opportunity to these stores and restaurants and dining areas. So that's going to come before. Director Hayes.
Just quickly, Mayor, that, as you know, that expired last October. But we have continued to allow it to occur, even though it's obviously been through winter. October was actually pretty nice, beyond the extension. And at this point, we haven't heard one concern.
So we'll bring it to committee. I just wanted you guys to know. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question on that.
Sure. Alderman, go ahead.
If we're looking at extending it for this year, is that something we could do as far as changing the ordinance if this is working this year or last year and this year? Is this something that we could do on a permanent level? Because I think people enjoy being outside in the summer, and that would attract them to our area. Is that something that we could?
When we met the other day, my suggestion is to extend it one more year and then look at something more permanent.
Okay,
So
that's good.
speak. Committee will have, you as a council, to make that decision, but that's my thought. And
Okay.
yes, we talked about it. Chris, you got anything to add to that?
Three seconds, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I was going to say yes.
Yes, right, exactly.
Alderman Stevenson.
What the request was, we council took action on, was not changing any of the rules of what you have to do, but rather delegate a lot of that authority to the department, to make the judgment that people who get into it quicker, to take advantage of economic benefits from doing it. So, we didn't lessen any restriction, we just simply gave the authority to the department, which
Yeah, so I just think we need to formalize it because technically it expired.
Right.
And I think the community and the restaurants and that will be glad to hear this. That's all. Okay, thank you. He's giving me that Jim look for the, second meeting. Sorry, and you learn well. You do remember that. All right, so with that being said, I will open up if there's any other, because we're going to go into, I'm sorry, first we're going to go into new business, any announcements or questions? Anyone have any announcements or questions that they would like to bring up? Anyone? I will just, all I really wanted to say was the outdoor dining, but also Memorial Day parade of those folks that come in to start the application process. So they want, the veterans want to have the parade. And so that's being done. And a lot of the other summer events are starting to come in with their applications and that. So we're going to start seeing more of them. So, but we are also going to still be very cautious and ask them to take certain precautions. So that's all I got. All right. So with that, is there a motion?
I'll move to convene into closed session. Second.
Alderman Leonard moves, second by Alderman Lang, to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1925, paragraph 1, parentheses, for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, the investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session to discuss bargaining strategy relating to future residential development.
That second was Boyd.
Okay, I'm sorry, the second was Boyd. Sorry about that. Thank you. So,
Good night, all.
any questions? Thanks, John, for coming. And I will, all in favor of going into closed session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Hearing no opposed, we are now in closed session.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.